Privacy and confidentiality. In Section 4.04a, Minimizing Intrusions on Privacy, we learned that psychologists should only share information that is relevant when communicating orally or in writing. According to HIPAA, one should limit information to the minimum necessary. Section 4.04b states that psychologists should only share information regarding the matter at hand with caregivers. The HIPAA privacy rule states, psychologists working in an independent practice may share the minimum information necessary to internal workers for them to perform their jobs effectively. Section 4.05a, Disclosures, tells us that psychologists need a signed release to disclose confidential information. Psychologists may refuse to give out confidential information if they believe it may be harmful to the individual. In Section 4.05b, we learned that there are some instances in which protected health information may be disclosed without consent. Examples are to provide services, obtain consultations, protect from harm, and obtain payment for services. There are some disclosures mandated by law. They are duty to protect laws, school violence, privileged communications, subpoenas, and court orders. Under the duty to protect laws, if the provider has a relationship with a possible assailant, the ability to predict a violent act, or the ability to identify the possible victims, then they are mandated to report his findings. Recent events that could cause violent behavior should be reported in order to prevent school violence. And a judge has the power to waive confidentiality and require mental health records to be released. Disclosures permitted by law. The privacy rule permits disclosures without authorization when required by law for public health, such as preventing public disease, injury, or disability, when individuals are believed to be the victim of abuse, neglect, or domestic violence, for health oversight activities, such as audits or criminal investigations, for judicial administrative hearings, or for activities deemed necessary by military commanders for military missions. Good ethical practices for suicidal intent include competence to recognize and manage and treat suicide, identifying community resources for patients' emergencies, consult with other professionals, and understanding the principles and policies regarding commitment. Section 4.06 addresses consultations. Psychologists should not disclose information that could lead to the identification of the client. They disclose information only to the extent necessary to achieve the purpose of the consultation. Consultations allow psychologists to ensure the ethics and competence of their own work and is allowed if the client's confidentiality can be successfully protected. Consultations over the Internet. There are several reasons for psychologists to consult with colleagues over the Internet. Among them are to provide the best standard of care, to gain referrals or recommendations, to increase evaluation plans for organizations, to advise students for career planning, and to deal with the unanticipated research participant challenges. Use of confidential information for didactic and other purposes. Section 4.07. Psychologists do not disclose in their writings, lectures, or other public media confidential, personally identifiable information concerning their clients/patients or other recipients of their services that they have obtained during the course of their work, unless they take responsible steps to disguise the person or organization, the person or organization has consented in writing, or there is a legal authorization for doing so. The client's best interests should still be held in the highest of regards. Informed consent to clinical writing and disguising information falls under the category of use of confidential information for other purposes. Psychologists may use clients' information in public forums if written consent is given, the information does not cause harm for the individual or the therapeutic process. Psychologists should take steps to disguise the patient they are referring to by changing names, birth dates, locations, or family compositions, if not important for the goal at hand. However, gender or ethnicity should not be changed if they are of significance to the therapeutic process. Reasonable steps understands that sometimes even after taking the proper steps needed, it is possible for someone to recognize the individual or organization.